Alright everybody, so welcome back to the channel. So on this video, I'm basically going to go over the step-by-step process that you guys need in order to set up your wholesale Amazon business account. So that way that you're properly set up for wholesale. You don't have any leaks. You're professionally set up, and now you're ready to tackle on these wholesale suppliers and get set up with them. So without further ado, let's get started. Be sure to smash that like button if you find this content valuable, and be sure to drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. So the first step that you guys are going to want to do is set up an LLC slash a sole proprietorship slash a S corp. Now listen, I'm not a tax expert whatsoever, so take this with a grain of salt because this is what I did in my journey. So with that being said, make sure that you talk to a professional and you speak to them about what setup is properly best for you and your business, because it may differ from state to state. And also, just personally, I do believe that if you plan on doing wholesale, specifically wholesale, very serious from the jump, I really do advise you guys start off with an LLC or S corp of some sort. Because you're trying to do real legit business with real businesses, and they don't want to hear Danny's little workshop. They want to see Danny's LLC workshop instead, or something similar. So that's just my personal take. Again, I'm not advising you guys to do anything. That's just my 2 cents. But do speak with the CPA and ask them for the proper guidance. But if you do plan on setting this up, here are some of the few ways that I basically got set up when I started. So first of all, you want to head over to Google, obviously. You want to type in your state. So I live in Texas. You can do the same thing for California, Florida, North Carolina, or wherever you live. Alright, and you basically want to go head over and how to form your LLC or your S corp. So the steps will be the same, just different wording. Now, of course, there's our third parties like LegalZoom, what's the other one, InkFile and whatnot. I did use InkFile when I started my journey because I didn't know what I was doing. So if you decide to go that route, that is fine as well, assuming you have the capital to basically outsource that. Otherwise, you could do it yourself, and it's fairly simple. But again, if you talk to a CPA, they may, help you with that as well. But basically, you want to go to wherever legal website that looks proper for you. So Texas Secretary of State is for me. So right here, it will give you all the guidance and one on how to form it, and most likely all the forms that you'll need to fill out. Now again, this is going to differ from state to state, so you got to be careful on what website you guys are going to. You don't want to click on something that's showing ads and whatnot. Go to a real government state website and you'll get all the information you'll need. So you want to get that set up first. So remember, LLC, sole proprietorship, or S corp. But again, if you're doing wholesale, you want to start legit. You want to start as business like as you can. So once you got that set up, then we'll head over to the next step. So step 2 now is applying for your EIN number. And this number, a lot of wholesalers will require it. Not all of them, but most of them will. And so the next step after you get set up with your company is you definitely want to apply for this. Go, right here on the IRS website, apply for your EIN number, and then it'll give you all the steps that you need to take in order to basically get your EIN number. So as you can see, there's an application, how to apply, and just a bunch of other information that you will need to go through. But this will be the next step you guys will need to take in order to set up your wholesale business. One thing to keep in mind that I really advise you guys do is that they will mail you the EIN number physically. Do not lose that paper whatsoever. Okay, keep that in the safe, keep that in the file that you can't touch, or whatever. I mean, write down the number if you have to, but please don't lose that original copy. It is basically impossible to get a second copy of the original copy, and some suppliers may want the original. It just really depends. So please do not lose that paper, okay? Because I lost mine, to be honest, so I don't even know where it's at. So that's why I'm telling you guys, so you learn from my mistakes. So please don't do it. Now, step 3. You want to apply for your reseller's permit. So now, again, this is one of those things that varies from state to state. It may be called something else. It may be called a business license, a reseller certificate, something like that. Some states, I believe you might not even need this just because you're tax exempt. But this basically, this form basically tax exempts you from purchasing products, right? So if I'm buying something from a wholesaler, they can't charge me sales tax because I'm not the end consumer. The customers that I'm selling those products to are the end consumers, so they're paying the sales tax, not us. And just another note, if a wholesaler is charging you sales tax, they're not a wholesaler. But again, this will vary from state to state. You may not even need it. Some states are tax exempt or whatever. So, but yeah, just look for your proper form. Look for, where to go for this. For me, it'll be on the comptroller taxes website. That's where I would go. But again, you will have to do your own proper research for your own state and apply for that reseller's permit. And then once you apply for it, you'll get it in the mail. You'll get a physical copy. You can hang it, save it, or whatever you want to do with it. But definitely save it at least. So with that being said, those first 3 steps will get your entity, your business structure set up right there. So now you're an actual business. You're a legitimate business now, and so now you're ready to move on to the next step and basically proceed forward. So next, once you get all that set up, because you'll need all those documents first before you decide to move on to the next step, you'll definitely want to sign up for a business bank account. Okay, now it doesn't really matter what bank account you really go with. Personally though, more credit unions are kind of better just in general, but you could go with like the bigger banks like Capital One, American Express, Chase, all of those things. So it doesn't matter who you really set it up with. Just make sure you're keeping your personal expenses separate from your business expenses, okay? Because if you commingle them, then you might you basically increase your risk of being sued for both your personal and your business assets or whatever it may be. So yeah, make sure you open up a business bank account, get that set up. Doesn't matter if it's a checking or a savings, do both if possible. And yeah, just proceed forward with that and then get that set up. But you will need the other documents in order to open that account. So on to the next step. Now I probably should have done this one first too, just for all your information, but also make sure you create a business email. Now it doesn't matter with what domain or whatever you use it with. I signed up using GoDaddy, doing it through them. But you can also use Google and a bunch of other services for your business email. It doesn't matter which one you really use, as long as you set one up, because again, you want to look legitimate to these wholesalers, and they don't want to see a gmail.com email or a yahoo.com email. They want to see blank and blank at wholesaledistributors.com or whatever it may be, right? Tyler's LLC or something like that. So definitely get that set up. That's definitely a mandatory thing you want to set up for your wholesale accounts. So on to the next step. So at this point, you're 100% set up. You're ready to go. Now the next step is to basically set you up for the actual Amazon account itself and the software that you may or may not need in order to move forward with wholesale. So step 1, you obviously want to sign up for an Amazon seller account. I mean, that's very easy. Just go to their website, sign up. Now there is 2 plans on here. There's the freight plan, and then there's the $40 per month plan. Listen, again, if you plan on doing this business serious from the start, especially with wholesale, you want to start serious from day one. And if you plan on doing wholesale, you should have capital in order to afford the $40 plan, right? Because if you can't, then I would not be doing wholesale. But yeah, so get the actual professional account, which is $40 a month. Get set up, and go with whatever it's telling you on how to set up. Just providing your EIN number, all your other documents, and whatever the steps may be these days, because it's been years since I did my account. So make sure you get set up with that. And once you have your Amazon account fully established, now we'll go and dive into some of the software that you guys will need in order to basically proceed with wholesale. So number 1, obviously you want to have Keepa. Without Keepa, you're not going to find anything like that, no matter what. So, and Keepa will basically give you all the history, the graphs, the data that you'll need in order to determine whether a product is good when selling products on Amazon. So make sure you get Keepa. It's like $21 a month, I believe. Again, from day one, you need this. Out of any software I'm going to mention, you need Keepa no matter what. Okay, so again, this is going to help you determine what products are selling, how much a product has sold before, and just so much more. So definitely get Keepa. Now for the next software, they're very optional if you want to, but again, if you're doing wholesale, you have the money, you have the capital, I assume, so you're able to afford a software like this from day one. But that's going to be either Inventory Labs or Sellerboard. It doesn't matter too much which one you go with. Sellerboard, they're more of an accounting software just to keep up with your numbers. Inventory Lab is the same, but they also help with your shipments, creating shipments. It makes it much easier than doing them on Seller Central. That's just my personal take, but definitely sign up for one of the 2 softwares. This will help keep your numbers organized by inputting your buy costs, your shipping costs, and everything else in between. So, it'll keep your numbers clean from day one. Either software works. It's perfectly fine. Nothing bad about really either of them. So it's just personal preference at this point. Now for the last software that you're going to need in order to complete your Amazon wholesale business is a sourcing calculator. And so there's plenty of options to go with, really. There's SellerAmp, there's ScoutX, there's Amazon Insights, I believe, and a few others. But definitely get a calculator. Doesn't matter which one, really. I mean, they'll do the same thing. They'll tell you the numbers, all this and that. But basically, you want a calculator so that when you're sourcing products, you're able to input your buy cost right there on the Amazon page, and that you're able to determine what your profits are going to be on the particular product, so that way you know whether it's profitable or it's not profitable. Now, if you're going to go with the two I recommended right here, SellerAmp is fine. ScoutX, it actually comes free with Inventory Labs if you decide to get that one. So if you end up getting Inventory Labs, you'll get ScoutX with it too. So it might make sense to get those from the jump if that helps. But if not, you can definitely get SellerAmp and Sellerboard or whatever mix you want to get it with. It really does not matter. Just try them all out and see which ones are more preferred for you and your business, and then just go from there. Again, don't put too much weight on it. Don't waste too much time on it. Just test them out and then basically go from there. So with that being said, you guys are 100% fully set up for your Amazon business. You got your business structure on check. You got your emails on check, your EIN numbers on check, your seller account, your software. At this point, you're basically ready to go and start selling on Amazon Wholesale. Now, of course, we're not going to cover any of the sourcing for distributors and whatnot on this video, but this will get you 100% set up, ready to go, and just go crush it. So, but without further ado, guys, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.